How about we talk about what's actually happening right now with Mount Rushmore? Huh?
Honestly, and I secretly have the stream open over here.
Oh, we got the stream
Nothing's going on.
Oh, really?
They're all just standing there.
But let's talk about, I mean, culturally, man.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What is
First, I bring you this story, my friends. Native tribal leaders are calling for the removal of Mount Rushmore. Well, y'all can go pound sand. We're not going to tear down Mount Rushmore. Sorry. I think we can easily recognize there were bad things done in the past, for sure. And we have done away with those things for the most part, and we continue to do better. So let's not destroy Mount Rushmore. That's nuts. But CNN starts us off with a very calm and reasonable, well, it's the native tribal leaders. It's what they're requesting. And I got to be honest, I recognize why they're saying it, for sure. Look, European settlers came to this country. There was war. There was conflict. In fact, in the Declaration of Independence, you know that one of the cited reasons for independence was that, I don't want to mess this up, but there was conflict between Native Americans and the colonists. Okay. And they felt like the Crown made it worse. To put it I'm putting it very, very lightly. You can read the Declaration of Independence yourself. You should. It's 4th of July is coming up. That was one of the reasons. And they did not use kind words for the Native Americans. Okay. They used very unkind words. So it's like it's there, you know. And I can recognize why there are people who native indigenous people who are upset about all this.
Yeah, and you know what? They have been for a long time. This isn't new. It's just cool for CNN to jump on the bandwagon now.
Yeah. So here's the issue. While I can certainly respect the feelings of, you know, there's bad history, man. Mm-hmm. Am I supposed to call up Japan right now and start complaining about why my family was forced to flee? Am I going to do that?
No.
I'm not going to do that. Am I going to complain about any object or anything in that? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to complain about the fact that a lot of the bad laws in this country, which made it harder for my family, existed and were put in place by Democrats and others. I'm gonna, yeah, you know what? Well, here we are, and I'm gonna keep my focus on the present and say at least we have the gains we have, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? The way I see it is we can't survive as a country if we demand a pendulum swing. If we demand revenge all the time.
That's true.
If someone is standing above you and they agree to come down to an even playing field, you can't then say, no, you have to go down further and that's my turn to go up.
Right.
No. If someone has the power and the wealth and the control and they're like, listen, we recognize equality and all that stuff, so we're going to step down and level the playing field. You say, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
And they may still have advantages and all that stuff, but to destroy something is going way in the wrong direction. But of course, CNN, they just can't help themselves. First, CNN just gives us the general news, which is okay. The native tribal leaders are upset about this, and I can respect that. Then we get this story. Trump set for another massive event during national pandemic. Oh, everything has to be wrong with everything he does. Just oh, man.
So many people are arguing with me about this. The protesting didn't cause a spike of COVID. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, why does it matter that he's having a rally?
Exactly.
It's
outdoors, right?
What's the difference? It's a bunch of people marching together, all wearing masks. Okay.
Cheating.
So what's wrong with protesting the lockdown also? What's the difference? I mean, your cause, other than the cause is the only difference. That's it. The words. Apparently,
Black Lives Matter is a magical phrase which can cure COVID.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, they say it slows down the spread. Well, now we have that's Eric Garcetti of LA has admitted the protests did cause a spike. Oh, or is that what happened?
And I actually referenced that to the conversation I was having. And of course, it was with someone who was from LA and just started ripping the mayor, right? Ripping the mayor apart. Yeah. Just like, oh, well, he's corrupt. So anything he says is you can't even trust it, what he's saying. It's like, oh, all right, well, great, because I read your article and it didn't even have any evidence to the contrary. I was just showing you this is out there also. It's just whatever fits their narrative.
I saw this segment going around on Twitter. Truly remarkable, CNN.
Oh, man.
CNN's Layla Santiago. Mount Rushmore, a monument of 2 slave owners on land wrestled away from Native Americans. Duh. Think about what it is they're arguing for. You know, I made the joke before this segment about the logical conclusion of all of this identity social justice stuff is that we give all executive authority on the planet to one ultra marginalized person.
Yeah.
And so they're just like a comatose, disabled, multiracial, whatever, you name it. Every single negative thing, all balled into one, granted the sole global executive authority over everything, decisions they can't actually make, so nothing happens. But you take a look at what's going on with Mount Rushmore, and let's be real about what the conclusion is. Do we just send all of the white people back to Europe?
That doesn't make any sense.
Do we dissolve the governmental charters of New York City, of Rapid City, of Chicago? Do we say, you know what? All white people must be removed from government and the Native Americans come and take everything back?
I don't know. I don't think anybody who's out there fighting the system really knows. There's certain protesters out there that want police reform. You know, that's one of the biggest things. And it's like, okay, I agree with that. Police reform is okay. You know, the Republicans actually brought a bill to police reform, and the Democrats denied it. You know, it's like,
stupid.
oh,
Reality,
what a
man.
surprise. You know, but then there's the other people out there that are just ripping down, burning elk statues.
Yep.
What did that elk do to you?
Don't you know?
Did that elk hurt you?
The elk were the original oppressors.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
I don't get it.
They were oppressing. They were oppressing the. What do elk eat?
Grass.
Yeah.
Do they eat grass
They do.
though?
They're
I'm
herbivores.
pretty sure.
But,
yeah.
100%.
but grass though?
Yeah.
They graze.
Yeah, they eat like stuff off. They eat algae as well. Duckweed.
They lick rocks.
There you go.
Do they lick rocks? I'm just going to go ahead and imagine that the elk are actually vicious and they eat squirrels and chipmunks and small woodland creatures.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they're just herbivores, I can only imagine them as being like cutesy and happy and like bouncing and frolicking.
They have big horns.
But if we add in that they kill small cutesy creatures, then we can imagine them more snarling and evil.
They have been known to attack moving vehicles. The alpha elk
There you go.
have been known to attack humans also. So I don't know. Maybe.
Are you sure?
Maybe
that
they're
the
fascist.
Yes.
Fascist elk.
See? Are you sure the elk were actually calm and just grazing? Or was it actually more like they were snarling and snatching up squirrels and ripping them in half with their vicious jaws? And the squirrels are running, and it was just total squirrel genocide.
they just stomp on the squirrel and just watch it
Killed
bleed
them
out.
for no reason.
I'd burn that statue too.
Did the elk maybe herd the squirrels into an encampment of sorts?
Yeah, maybe. Who
I
knows?
don't, it's a statue of an elk in Portland. They burned it down. It's a 120-year-old statue. Okay,
man.
what is wrong with these people? It's
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying. They don't know what they want.
But
They
that's-
want to burn the system down,
So-
and they don't know what they'll get when the system's actually gone. You won't be able to eat food.
man, it's
You're not
hilarious.
growing your own food. I know that.
You know, part of me just wants them to experience what they ask for.
I
Like,
don't, because then
can
it's
we-
going to
can
be
we-
forcing it upon the rest of us. It's like, no. Look, I am vegan, and I know it's a privilege to be vegan in this world. I'm watching them all, and they're all vegan. They all have vegan on their profile, and I'm just like, man, you guys, you're the reason you're giving vegans a bad name, because they can't be vegan if the world goes away. You got to start hunting your food. Do you know how to hunt your own food?
Well,
I do.
Wait, rice and beans.
I would if the world went that way.
Rice
I could.
and beans. Rice and beans.
They wouldn't last.
Whoa. Rice and beans.
No, it pisses me off, dude.
Rice and
They're
beans.
so privileged. And they
rice.
Where are you gonna get rice?
You're gonna grow it. You're gonna be a farmer. You're gonna be in a big rice field.
You know how to grow rice?
You put the rice in the water, and then the rice, you get more of it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
The rice duplicates itself in water. Look, I don't know how to farm rice. The point is, it is possible to be vegan if you have rice fields and you can grow beans. I have no idea where beans are grown. But rice and beans does contain, as far as my understanding, is a complete amino chain.
Okay.
And it's actually like a massive portion of the global food supply. The issue is, these people, come on, man. They don't know how to grow rice or beans.
Nope.
They don't have the climate to grow rice or beans. And the rice and beans they do eat is shipped around the country and the world.
They don't have the work ethic to farm their own food. Let alone that would be what they had to do
No.
every single day. The internet would be gone. You'd have to actually work all day long. Do you know what that feels like?
You know,
they don't. They have no clue what it takes to work all day long.
I already know what's going to happen.
Oh man, tell me.
Right now, the revolution is occurring in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
The climate there is not great for farming, as far as I know.
Nope.
I mean, I'm sure there's some things that grow up there that you can't eat. Here's what will happen. This whole area will secede from the Union.
Good luck.
There'll be a major uprising, and then they'll elect their new leaders, and they'll all cheer. And within 2 weeks, they'll run out of avocados, and there will be another revolution, and there will be a demand to rejoin the union.
And toast.
And well, the toast they'll still have. You know, they'll get their.
Sure.
They'll make their bread machines. They got flour left over, but avocados, man, those aren't coming.
No.
Those are like those are grown in Mexico.
And California, but yeah,
Sure.
mostly.
So, it's if California joins them, oh my God, that's how it happens.
What?
See, it's not just the Pacific Northwest, but California joins in.
They'll be unstoppable.
And then they're unstoppable. They have an endless supply of avocado to fuel their diets.
The revolution demands avocados.
Avocado toast. No, but once they can't supply, once the food source of avocados runs out and they all starve to death, then the union, the walks back in and just scoops up the corpses and then takes the cities back. And there's like just a wasteland, and there are shelves filled with all kinds of regular food. It's just once they ran out of avocados, man, that was it. The millennial revolutionaries couldn't survive without it.
Nope.
That was their end. Their scientists desperately try to synthesize artificial avocado. Dumping all of their resources into it.
Yeah.
We must source art. You ever see the movie Daybreakers?
Yes.
The vampires.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to create fake blood. That's what it is. Fake avocado. Otherwise, they can't sustain the revolution. No, in all reality, though, I could imagine a scenario where all these protests kick off. Truckers don't want to come in.
Yep.
And then non-revolutionary types start freaking out because there's no avocado. And now I'm being for real. Now, I mean it literally. Imagine with all the riots going on in Portland and Seattle, truckers say, I am not going to drive into that city when they're defunding police.
I mean, they're already saying that.
Exactly.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, you got this, he's 29, he's got a man bun, and he's wearing, his capri pants.
Not that there's anything wrong with the man bun.
He's got a V-neck, he's wearing a hot pink V-neck shirt.
Oh, no.
With a long beard.
Okay.
And he's not a revolutionary, man. And he walks into the local shop and he's like, yo, can I get, I'm going to do chai latte, and can you do it with almond milk? And I'll do the avocado toast. I'm sorry, we're out of avocado. We're out of avocado? Oh, when are you getting it back? We're not, because the shipments won't come in because of the riots. And then all of a sudden he goes, no! And he tears all his hair out, and then he just rips his shirt off and he goes outside and starts punching Antifa guys. And then all of a sudden,
you did this to
Seattle votes hardcore ultra-nationalist. Ultra-nationalist, the guy immediately puts on a Proud Boy shirt and he's like, ah! Okay, but in all seriousness,
That was amazing, Tim. Very nice.
But to make it put it more seriously, to go even more serious than I was trying to be before.
Please do it.
When these people don't realize that strawberries don't grow where they come from.
Right.
Blueberries, mangoes, these things are all imported from other parts of the world. It's ridiculous, in my opinion, that we actually do it. Now, a lot of these people, a lot of these environmental activists understand the importance of eating seasonal fruits and vegetables. Because when you get strawberries in the winter, you got to understand where those strawberries came from and how much energy it took to get them there.
Yep.
Burns a lot of fossil fuels and all this other stuff. Once these people who know nothing but wealth and comfort, because let's be real, man.
Most of them are wealthy.
It's not even about that. It's about relative wealth and comfort.
Okay, good point.
I hear this all the time, that our parents, it's like the first generation where the kids will be worse off than their parents were.
Okay.
And I'm like, what makes you think that's true? What makes you think that we're worse off? My dad didn't have a cell phone. He didn't even have a TV. He had an apartment with a mattress on the floor.
My dad had to work all day long.
Yep.
All the time.
Could
Even on weekends.
Could he pull out his phone and press a button and then ask a question and get an answer?
Nope.
There's a really funny a comic that was made like 8 years ago. And this was not meant to be funny. It was meant to be serious. It was like 3 people are sitting on a couch playing Nintendo or something.
Okay.
And then someone said, what was the year that Lincoln was assassinated? I don't know. Do you guys know? No, I don't know either. Huh. Then the next panel is like today. Hey, what year was Lincoln assassinated? And the guy pulls up his phone and he's like 1848 or whatever. I don't know what the actual year was, like 65 or something, whatever. The point was that we live in an era where you don't got to go to the library anymore.
That's true.
You don't got to pull up a book. You just got it.
Yeah, internet.
So now we have a whole generation of people who have nothing to do.
That's true. No purpose.
Yeah, so they just make up some random purpose. And now they're complaining about how bad everything is when it's better than it's ever been.
Yep, exactly. That's what I've been saying. They have
So
no idea.
listen, when you can have pizza anytime because they've put it on a bagel.
Yeah, right.
What happens when you disrupt the system to the point where that goes away and now you have to experience the real world? Once these people actually get a taste of what is really required of you for survival, man, these people's their eyes are going to go full Biden. It's going to pop blood everywhere. They're going to be like, ah! It's like I was telling you that story about the Occupy people who got the farm. Mm-hmm. Oh no, they did not like that.
Yeah, they had to actually work. They had to get up and do work, and that takes. I mean, you can't chill. You can't relax and just shoot whatever you want to do on the internet. It's like, no, there is no internet. You don't have time for internet. You have to work from when you wake up till you get too tired to keep working and you go to sleep. And it continues over and over. That's what farmers do. We've got farmers out there. That's what they do. They farm all day long and they work to get us food. I don't think they even think about it. They don't even think about it. The person you told me about that millennial that believed food appeared in the store. And that's where food came from.
I don't know if they believe the food just appeared there. It's just
certainly
they've never thought beyond where does the food actually come from.
Let alone all the different options that are there and all the different lines of, the wheels moving in society to give us these comforts that we have.
Oh man, I tell you,
it drives me nuts.
When I try talking to some people, so this guy I know posted something on Facebook where he's like, I kid you not, he argued instead of reopening businesses, just pay everyone. And I was like,
why don't you just give everyone money so they can buy stuff on their own?
The government is so dumb. They should just give people money and then they'll have money so they can eat.
Where would they spend the money if there's nothing open?
That's what I said. And I was like, I was like, let's break things down for a second. Let's just some quick math, right?
Uh-huh.
The value of the dollar is based on many things, but basically the value is based on what you get for it.
All right.
And right now in the United States, you get a lot for $1. There's food, tools, services. Let's just use those. Let's do X, Y, and Z. Let's not even quantify it.
Right.
And I said, what happens if you shut down 90% of all businesses? Well, now the dollar can only get you things from essential services, right? Now, if you're somebody who already has food, what does the money mean for you?
Nothing.
So let's say you own your house. You got to pay taxes, right?
Okay.
So you got to pay something. If you're someone who has the majority of your needs met and someone's like, hey, I'll give you $10 for that apple, you're like, well, I need the apple.
I'd rather keep the apple.
I can't buy anything with the $10. In a long enough shutdown, the money becomes worthless because there's nothing you can do with it.
Right.
So I'm like, if the government's just going to start printing out money and giving it to people, but everything's closed, at a certain point, people are like, I don't need this.
What happened in Venezuela?
Mm-hmm.
In that trunk loads of money they can't buy an apple with.
Well, that's a whole lot of other problems.
No, you're right. Sure. But
it's amazing how Venezuela was extremely wealthy, one of the most oil-rich nations on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, you get a bunch of well-off, relatively poor people,
mm-hmm.
and then they just burn everything to the ground. There you go. That's what they want for us. And I got to say, man, I'm not actually all that worried about it.
No?
It's funny because I feel like I'm worried for them.
Well, because you have a van that you're going to live in down by the
river.
river.
I built the van. Hey. I was on the Joe Rogan podcast in 2019.
Yeah.
And we were laughing about it. And I said, if you keep going down this path, here's what's going to happen. I'm buying a van. And then everybody laughed. And you think I'm joking.
And then you bought said van.
And then I remember when I told Joe I literally did have the van. He's like, wait, you really did? I was like, yeah, I did it. He's like, I built the van. It's got 1,000 amp hours in it. It's got solar panels.
Thing's pretty boss.
This thing,
it's a boss van.
If with the solar panels on, it will never run out of power.
Nice.
For all the basic uses, like
as long as it's sunny out.
Yeah, right. But technically, it will never run out of power. With 1,000 amp hours,
mm-hmm.
with the monitor, with general electrical outlet usage, if I had a bunch of things plugged in, a laptop, we did the math, and the amount of power that it holds will easily sustain everything in the event that it's too cloudy or too dark.
Yeah.
But with general sunlight, it charges faster than it discharges. Now
you just need to figure out food and water.
Right. So I parked the van somewhere. Now, I really don't think it's going to come to that, to be honest.
No.
But the point is, if everything just broke down,
mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about them. I feel like when I'm telling these people to stop doing it, it's not because I'm worried about what's going to happen to me.
I agree. I feel the same way. I know how to hunt. I would do that.
We got 3 recurve bows right there. Some broadheads. We go hunt some wild boar.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have 2 axes and a loincloth, and you'd be running it down and Just take it out.
Actually, no. I'm really accurate with a bow. I'd probably prefer the bow in that situation.
Yeah. People don't know that about you. You actually did archery and
I
stuff.
did. Yep.
Yeah.
I am
So Adam would be
quite
like
proficient.
the male Katniss Everdeen,
Yeah.
taking out the wild game, and we'd have a little,
The more you know.
little van village.
Little Van Village.
And these people,
I like the sound of that. Actually,
these people would turn
Not
into
bad.
like Morlocks or the I Am Legend creatures.
Yep.
They're going to be in New York running around like, and
No,
they're going to be.
they wouldn't last that long, dude.
Well, they would by eating each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which would in turn make them crazier, and then they'd eat the crazy, and then in turn get them more crazy.
Yeah, it's like
And then they'd get like the shakes.
shakes.
Book of Eli. They'll
Yeah,
hold out your
yeah.
hand, and he's like, "I'm good."
yeah. Have you ever seen Pandorum?
I think so. What is?
I
Maybe
I
don't know.
watched it a couple
No,
weeks
I
ago.
haven't. That's the one you were watching, and I was like, "What is this? I don't know this one."
So basically, they're on a colony ship leaving Earth to go
Okay.
very, very far away, and they're in hypersleep. They're supposed to be in hypersleep for a few hundred years. This dude wakes up through a default release of hypersleep, so it's not proper procedure, so he's all messed up.
Okay.
But then there's these weird humanoid cannibalistic creatures that hunt humans on the ship and eat them. It basically turns out that, like,
Spoiler.
yeah, I mean, the movie's 20-something years old.
Hey,
So-
spoiler, man.
Spoiler.
You're gonna spoil it.
It turns
I haven't
out
seen it.
So that there's an evolutionary virus to help humans adapt to the new planet.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was released to people on the ship, they adapted by becoming cannibalistic humanoid monsters that could eat other humans.
Ah.
It's the only way to survive. So that's what I imagine would happen to Antifa,
Okay.
It would actually be really funny to do like a short story or film or like video game where it's like in 100 years, there's like walled off cities of regular humans who have like, there's the official flag is the Gadsden flag. It's like the national flag of the tribes.
Yeah.
But you go outside the walls and you must beware Antifa.
Antifa's
They've
out there.
devolved into like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and they're like cannibalistic, and they're like, and you go out there and it's very dangerous because they eat you.
Well, we are
Or squirrel.
animals. People like to forget that or think that we're different, but it's like no, we're mammals. We are. There's animals on this planet, and the alpha male is usually the
Just
one
smarter.
who wins.
We separated ourselves from evolution.
Yep.
It used to be that when one species overcame another, it was through gradual adaptations. Then humans got intelligent and were able to overcome
Everything.
basically everything. Just
Yep.
like boom, like we are masterful predators, man.
Yep.
So here's what I find funny about all the Antifa stuff and all this weirdo revolutionary garbage. Like, do these people have any skills?
No.
No.
Other than
They
complaining
don't.
on the internet.
They're very good at that.
That's
they're
what I'm
very
saying.
good.
They have skills.
Admittedly, they're the best.
They're
good at that.
admittedly they're the best.
Yeah.
Reeing. If they've got a PhD in reeing.
Yeah.
REEEEE.
Hey, man, no one is better at complaining on the internet than the woke left.
That's true.
They've got it down to an art.
You got to do work to live. I don't care what you believe in.
So I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, they claim to represent the working class. They don't. These people are overwhelmingly post-grads and graduates, who make $100K plus a year, and they're demanding subsidies from the government to forgive their loans. It's like, why are we going to subsidize the wealthiest people?
Yeah, it doesn't
or the
make
people with the
sense.
highest salaries.
It's true.
Meanwhile, regular working class people are like, a portly 40-year-old white dude who like fixes toilets for a living
Right.
or does plumbing. And it's a decent income for a lot of these guys.
Doesn't even have to be a white dude. Why you got to be racist, bro?
I'm just talking about
Why you gotta be like that?
Joe the plumber?
I'm just messing with you.
Remember Joe the plumber?
No, but seriously, anyone can be in the trades. I worked in the trades for a while, and it's
No,
like
I'm just-
I saw all. It doesn't matter who you are. There was all different types of people in there.
Of course. The point I'm making is these scrawny college students who think they're smarter than you do not represent anybody but themselves.
It's true.
So they're calling cops traitors and stuff. And it's like, bro, that cop is more working class than you are.
I know. Yeah.
And now they're like, abolish the police unions. And I'm like, okay, you're for open borders, which 10 years ago was the ultra right wing, according to Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
The libertarian right wing industrialist. Sure. But my private company, you say of Facebook, okay, that's a very right wing traditionally thing. And you're all scrawny upper class rich people who want to subsidize. What is this? Why are they the left?
What do they really want?
Nothing.
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
They're just
No,
crying.
they want to be. They want to be kings.
You know why
and
they hate
queens.
Trump?
They want things handed to them. Their sense of entitlement knows no bounds.
I think one of the reasons they hate Trump is that in one way they see he's a reflection of them.
Okay.
I view Trump as somebody who really wants approval.
He definitely does. Yeah.
And this is one of the things that that I'd been saying was a big mistake of the Democrats. Trump wants you to love him. Mm-hmm. He puts his name on top of buildings in big gold letters.
Yeah, clearly.
One thing he really wants is the adoration of the people.
Yeah.
If the Democrats just like placated him, he'd have given him whatever they wanted. There was even like a gun control compromise. Yep. If they just said, "Wow, Trump, you're a really great and effective leader. A good leader would do this." He'd be like, "Oh, definitely, I'm the best. Everybody agrees. Yeah, let's go with this." And he'd get a lot of compromise done. But the Democrats didn't want to do that. They just wanted to hate him and just attack him, probably because he's messing up their game.
Yeah, the all this money that they're making off of the deals Obama was putting in, Hillary was putting in.
TPP would have been a windfall for a lot of these big corporations.
Yeah, exactly.
And even Bernie opposed it. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.